Hello and welcome to Coffee and Crits. I'm your host, Aaron Washington, here with my co-host, Mike.
Woo!
Nick.
Hey.
That's it. I started it like I had more people, but it's just us three. Hey, guys, I hope you've had a good time with your gaming. I've been okay. Game's been pretty good.
Uh-huh.
We got
that wasn't very
Yeah.
convincing, Nick.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, Nick, you just finished your block.
Yes.
And it ended.
It did end, and I'm happy for it.
I ended my Hunter's game.
That sounded fun.
It ended.
It ended.
It ended.
It did. It was, woo, boy.
There was some stuff going on that table.
It was a lot, man. Devil's Night was rough.
I bet.
And you ended your game for the block.
Yes, I did. It was very explosive.
So was mine. Mine also had explosions.
People exploded.
That counts. That
All
counts.
right.
That
Okay.
counts. We all had
Okay.
explosions.
Good.
I would make a note that for anyone who's plans on running Hunter the Reckoning, the new Hunter the Reckoning, I would suggest definitely talk to your players at the beginning. Let them know what level of hunters they are. Because I meant for a more ground level hunting, and then someone bought Resources 5 that literally says they have mansions upon mansions. And that kind of money just kind of makes it spiral. I mean, I feel like I kept up with it fine. Because it was like resources without any type of connections. So it was kind of like lottery money. So you didn't really have like people in your pocket. You could just throw money at things.
Well, I mean, people are a different resource. In that case.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
I would say that your dots in maybe contacts, and so they have to be like at least like 1 or 2 levels under your resources. So that way it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
If you if you have a business, like if you tell me I have 3 dots, I just won the lot. That's whatever. Like. Because it caused problems, but in a way where it was just like I had to fix things. Not like for players, but it was just one of those things I was like, having all this cash really throws the game out of this gritty street level thing I wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Well, I mean, Nick, you've had that problem.
I have had
your
that
games.
problem many moons ago during a Teen Titans game.
Yeah.
But that is a story all its own.
Right. Because in that one, like, everyone else was literally scraping by to live, and then
he arrived.
money. It's just
Money
one of those
man.
things. Like, especially because Hunter takes place in like our time.
Yeah.
Money is just such a powerful use. I mean, granted, he also didn't use it the best. Still love you, but it wasn't that great.
Much love.
It ended up getting him killed, like his own actions. So it was
Doesn't
fun.
money always? Not really.
Yeah,
but it can.
I will say though, like he wasn't disruptive to the game. He wasn't toxic to the game. It was just events. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not because today we're talking about toxic players and Whoa, word.
Toxicity?
Yes.
Of our city.
I gotta.
Oh, I'm still here.
You going to finish
For
that,
now.
Nick?
No, I'm not.
You going to finish that?
I am literally not.
All right.
Nope.
All right. So being toxic in games. So there's a lot of ways to be toxic, right?
Oh, goody, are there? Oh, boy.
We're going to go through some of the greatest hits.
Ooh, the greatest hits.
Oh,
Well-
boy.
Above all, first and foremost, is the meta, right?
Metagaming.
Metagaming.
Uh,
Supposed to harmonize it. Because you did
All right.
metagaming. and I was like,
Metagaming.
No,
There we go.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
I mean, I wasn't prepared for this. You know, I wasn't know.
I'm trying to think about the people who are going to listen to us.
I mean, I got work on my voice a bit. I mean,
Just
Was that a
little bit.
shot that I didn't tell you guys what we were talking about?
I mean, maybe.
What?
Man, I got a lot of things, bro.
Man. Don't listen to him.
Right.
Listen to metagaming.
Right. It's kind of meta of you, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Wait. Sure.
Metagaming, as it's normally defined, though, right, is taking outside knowledge and using it for in-game character benefit.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Your character knows things that they couldn't possibly know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Odd enough, like I've heard a lot of stories about metagaming. I had a friend of mine who thinks, we weren't really sure, but they believe that one of their players was reading the module.
Well, that would be very problematic.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah.
Well, I guess I know the
Very
campaign
problematic.
before I even play it.
Yeah,
right?
which I don't even understand what the benefit is of that, because it's not that fun anymore if you know what you're.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to min-max, make your character an unstoppable, like Juggernaut, and just
Yeah, having all that information.
having all the answers, yeah.
Having all the answers would
I
do
don't
that.
I don't find that fun.
Some people do. Same people who
It's-
cheat
it's
in video
like-
games.
It's like someone. Okay, now this may be making me a little game snob, but it's like people who used to read the guides in RPGs as they're doing their first playthrough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Aaron, we need 100% the D&D campaign. It's very important.
Woo.
Yeah, yeah. Or looking up the monsters you're fighting.
Listen.
Well, that's probably the most common. The things I've
Listen.
seen at the table, it's people
That-
who actually know the monsters.
That annoys
Yeah,
the
yeah,
crap
yeah,
out of
yeah.
me.
Or I mean, I've had a time where it's like, "Hey, guy, see some trolls. Use fire." We don't know that yet. Ask. I mean, how hard is it to
It's
say?
common knowledge, though. It's not.
How hard is it to say? Can I make an Arcana check
Or a nature
Your check
check
or
or
something.
anything.
to see what I know? It's not that difficult, fellas.
But when you pull out an actual app and look up the monster
Say it ain't so, Nick.
and then fight the monster and then get shocked when the monster doesn't work exactly as it does in the book,
Say it ain't so, Nick.
it is so. There is no not so. Mike,
Yes.
you've also experienced this.
Some things I don't like to talk about, Nick.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, I mean,
He could actually pull out the physical monster manual. That would probably throw me for
I've seen that too.
well,
what monster is that? Oh, that guy.
or like your character sees an event you can't possibly know
Yeah.
what's going on, but your character just so happens to go to this place because it's
Well, that actually brings into, I'm going to coin this as DM metagaming, where DMs have monsters that know more than they should.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It can go both ways.
It really
It
can.
really can.
Like,
So there's this line, right? In my head, I have this line where you can make things challenging for your players, like, oh, they take this route. That route was planned. You want them to have an encounter, so you put something along that route. But, if that route is just as fortified, but no one knew about it, that doesn't make sense. That's
Absolutely.
That's the DM meta, right?
Yeah.
if the party's trying to plan some sort of ambush,
Right.
and somehow the villains avoid the location.
Right. It's just one of those things where it has to be plausible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like, all right, we know the base's defenses, we've scouted it out, we're going to attack here. Well, it just so happens all the guards have migrated to this point because of blank. All right, we'll go to another spot. It may move with you. It's just stuff like that.
There's definitely a line and a limit to those kinds of things. And I think about it because if the players take the time to figure something out that circumvents a thing, that's not a failure to make them go through it.
No,
If
it's a reward. They should be rewarded for gaining knowledge in the game.
yeah. Or creative solutions.
Oh, yes.
100%.
Yeah, if they just literally, sometimes I think of a thing and everyone's just like, we can do this. And I'm like, I didn't think about it. Let me think. Would the villain think about it? Well, yes. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, he's smart enough. He has enough ability. He would think about this.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, well, actually, no, he wouldn't because maybe he's arrogant or maybe he wouldn't think about this,
Yeah.
because villains have flaws too.
Absolutely, they have to.
Right. Like, maybe an arrogant villain wouldn't consider.
Well, I mean, he's untouchable, so like, why is he going to, block
worry
that
about
off?
this little minor thing.
Yeah.
It is beneath my notice. That kind of thing. Like, you got to kind of put yourself in that, NPC shoes. What would they know? What would they prepare for?
I've actually always liked the idea of like villains learning from what the players do.
Yes.
So like the players will do it the first time, and if they try it again, then he'll counter it.
Fool.
Yeah, like, oh, you thought that would work again.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's learned. He's taken his the loss from the first time. Or if a villain who happens to be a spellcaster is losing minions and acolytes to these guys, it is not out of the realm of possibility that he starts watching them through spies, through scrying.
Yeah, where are all my acolytes going? Why do they keep dying?
Right. Like, eventually he's going to be like, so, someone has meddled. And he's going to do some research of his own. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to okay, now he knows the exact party makeup. I may make a difficulty in my head. I may actually just roll for him and like, okay, he gets an arbitrary this number to this, and he'll have this much information. Or a percentage, right?
Yes.
Like, he knows about half the party.
Well, that's an interesting idea. I never thought about doing it that way.
Yeah. Like, I do it all the time.
Yeah,
like,
he makes an investigation check.
yeah, he makes the check, and then sometimes I'll roll a percentage, right? So, argument's sake, let's say, remember the farm, right?
Yes.
The farms we're doing in Strahd, right? Let's say someone makes it out of that, right?
Yeah.
But let's say it's someone who only saw you doing the holy smiting.
Yeah.
And saw the bard get dusted because it didn't see anything that's happening inside the building, right? So it didn't know that there are two wizards who were floating in the sky. It didn't even see them. You guys were doing your own thing the whole time. So the information is not complete.
Yes.
Like, he's not going to have, like, a complete dossier on everyone who's there. I imagine him, like, reporting to the big guy, like, oh, it was light and holy auras, and the guy got disintegrated, so he's dead. But then there was this person who was smiting with, like, like the stuff he would remember. Like,
I like the dossier. I just picture them like dropping a bunch of folders on the table full of the party's background.
Right. Like, I mean, if like the paladin crit smited an enemy, like the Bone Claw, that enemy who survived will remember, I saw the Bone Claw fall in one divine strike.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it would like, so the enemies, they're not, while you have all your knowledge, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, not the same at all.
Because no one wants to fight like an all-knowing, all-seeing villain. That sounds terrifying.
Boring. Unless it's supposed to be that way.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but
that's like the caveat for like everything.
Yeah.
Unless it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I mean that's end game stuff though.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff the villain has to earn.
Yeah.
End game, but.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. Like, I make my villains learn their advantages, or at least I need it to be plausible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I like it because if a player asks, then I can say, well, he knew this because he had a spy in the tavern and he was watching you. And you guys happen to have a conversation in the middle of the tavern.
Or the knowledge was granted by a higher power.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, or you give these bottles. But, like, here's the thing. Like, I try to make it fair. Right? That's the thing, right? Like, it's so easy as a DM to just turn everything your way.
Yeah.
But that's not the goal of a DM. You're just a facilitator. You're telling the story. In the end, I want my players to triumph. I want them to be the heroes, and I want them to get the ending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to make it.
Well, there needs to be there needs to be an adequate challenge to challenge them.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes players just gonna be crazy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, especially at the higher levels, I find when players have like ridiculous I teleport here and then I animate a pirate ship and I fly across the thing with my hell cannons.
Yeah. I mean, the stakes. And here's the thing. It also depends on your table, right? Because like when you're playing in a table with more advanced or knowledgeable players who've been DMs. you're going to get a completely different kind of strat at the table.
Absolutely.
You're going to get a completely different vibe. Like, just saying, Val has been doing a great job keeping Sunday's game together because, boy, we are off the hook. Like, I mean,
yeah,
we are out there. And here's the thing. 4 of her players are DMs.
It's true.
I never thought about it that way.
4
but
of her
yes.
players are DMs.
Yes.
Us 3 and Pat. The only player is sorry. We're all DMs. We essentially know the system better than our DM, who has to try to keep up with us.
Yep.
So if you think about it that way, like, I consider this campaign
That really
a huge
explains
success.
all the really crazy ideas that, well, you know, things that have been happening throughout the game. Going back to animated battleships and iron golems and teleporting in the bases.
Because like, I'm saying, like, I'm not saying we're smarter. It's just that
Different thought process.
We have so much more knowledge. It's just our whole way we approach the game is on this different tier.
Yes,
It's weird, right?
Yeah, I know, because
I mean,
you know the system. You've had a lot of games under your belt. You've run a lot of games.
Right. Like,
you're going to think different than a new player.
It's almost like we have so many simulations. Think about how many simulations we've gone through when we are running for players. And then imagine we take all of that knowledge, all of those, then we apply them as players ourselves. No wonder it's kind of ridiculous. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I constantly tell him, like, you're doing fine.
Nah, she was doing a fantastic job.
I'm like, we're just ridiculous, and it's really hard. Like, we'd be a hard party. Like, we'd be a hard party to challenge, even for me. Like,
and especially because we know the rules.
Yeah,
we know the rules really well, so we know what works and what doesn't work. And
so we're not even messing around. We're just like, all right. So because of this and this, and also I also noticed this, like, when we try to do things where it needs a DM's ruling, like, we make such sound, hard arguments. Well, this and this and this. I mean, but
it can definitely take away from the game if you're focusing too much on the rules.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's the bad kind of.
Well, the rules are more of a
guideline
guideline
kind of rules.
Well, one last little touch on metagaming.
Yes.
Is there's also a good type of metagaming, I think, that's overlooked, and that's when that allows the party to come together, especially at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah. Oh, right. Like, not making a character that you know would clash with the party because it's your cool OC.
Yeah. So I mean, it's making a character that's going to fit in with everybody else, and knowing a little bit more about other people's characters, where you're meeting up, and just knowledge your character doesn't necessarily possess, but it does keep the party cohesion.
Because we have to facilitate each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because let's be honest, in a D&D game. Naturally, this, like, 5 people in a room meeting each other for the first time wouldn't immediately just click and become the best of buds.
Yeah.
Like, the odds of that are astronomical. So that's when it takes us, right? I give you say, like, why would we work with them?
Because you told me to.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, you make,
You have to make some concessions.
Yeah. Like, we were playing Beyond the Witchlight, and here's the thing: I didn't know that it was going to be like a dark fae campaign with all the kooky fae stuff. So I made the edgiest character. Like, I almost saw myself bleed when I was making his backstory.
Oh, geez,
sounds a little too sharp, Eric.
It was so sharp. So I made this character who was just the most grim in this world of happy, but he worked with the party. I made him find reasons that he could work with these people. You know?
Absolutely.
Well, I find it like your Curse of Strahd game where I play with Nick. He's a priest of, like, Lathander, and I made an evil hag. But somehow we've set aside our differences to continue.
I mean,
there are more important dangers.
Yeah, like Strahd.
There is a greater evil. I'm actually, the end of that is going to be explosive.
Fun.
It's going to be explosive.
Fun.
I actually...
I don't know if fun's going to be the word for that.
I'm gonna have fun.
I feel like there are going to be lines drawn, and I feel like Nick's going to be definitely on one side of those lines.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, but we know,
It's all part of the fun, though.
Yeah, and you can trust players to. Not every player you can trust with that, right? You can't. It just depends. All right, but we don't like rules lawyers though.
Rules lawyers.
Rule lawyering.
And we're not talking about someone just looking up a rule because they weren't sure.
No, that's not. What
That's
we're talking.
different. No,
We're talking about using the rules as a
A weapon.
cudgel.
Yeah, it's a weapon. They
It's
use
a
it as a
weapon.
weapon to get their way.
Yes, or to stop someone else from getting their way.
yeah.
Yeah. To them, like I've met people who think that it should go by the rules. Like D&D's max fun is when it's by the book. Like I've actually met someone who actually thought that way, and that's perfectly fine because they're not trying to, hurt on someone or they're not trying to, ruin someone's fun. That's just what they believe. Like the rules are there so things will stay in line. That's perfectly fine. That's not the kind of person
Well, they're not just pulling out the rules, having an argument.
Arguments at the table over a minor rule.
Especially if it's something that's like not even important, like a first level spell and like when you can use it or whatnot.
Yeah, you can't use fireball to set the forest on fire. It's just a flash of fire. It's an explosion. Yeah, but sure
I want
would
it
be
to burn.
neat. Yep. I want it to burn because, I'm the DM.
Yeah, or the other way. Hey, my fireball shouldn't have burnt the forest. It's a flash fire.
Well, this is how I've decided to run it.
This is how I've decided to fireball.
And so, mind you, there's good times to look up the rules, and then there's inappropriate times, and that's
Well,
what
I've
we're
always
talking
said
about.
try never to spend a lot of time at the table looking up rules.
No.
Like if you have a rules question, take it after the game. Talk to the DM.
Yeah. Like I just sent the thing to my players for the new block I'm running. Like, hey guys, if there's a rule issue, I may just make a ruling on the fly, and if later on you find out, the actual rules it
doesn't work that way.
For this, just let me know afterwards. We're just not gonna clog up the game with us
Because it's
talking about the semantics of like rules as intended versus rules as written kind of thing. Because D&D 5th edition has a lot of that.
I mean, it can definitely, definitely with magic, you can start bringing in like trigonometry and, and you're just like, you spend 30 minutes performing algebra, which that's 30 minutes you could have actually, be fighting monsters, having fun in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't. It's when it becomes a detriment to the game that becomes a problem. Like, because the rules
Absolutely.
itself isn't an issue.
No, and the thing is, and now there's a good, and it's almost like the opposite problem where someone either is confused by the rules or they moved from one system to another, and so they make a ruling based on an older version of the system that no longer applies.
I've definitely seen that between, we'll say, like 3rd edition and 5th edition.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Where this did, my spell does this, and as a DM you stop and go, wait, that doesn't do that. That does this, and then you go, hold on, so that they know.
Right.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
But it can be a problem if it happens a lot.
Okay. Just this is going to be a bit of a rant, and I'm sorry.
Do it.
So I want you to know, guys, I get you. You 3.5 is the best thing ever, players. I get it. It was awesome in your time. I understand that you could be half orc vampire monster thing and juggle 5 great swords in one hand. I get it. That sounds rad.
But not here.
But just because it doesn't but in this I could this and this and this. That makes me die a little inside every time you say it.
I don't know. Hashtag bring back 2nd edition.
Go away. Go away right now. You and
Literally
take your Thaco and
2E.
go home.
All right.
No. 2E is 5E.
There are similarities, minus the Thaco. I mean,
Yeah, well,
everybody loved
You can
Thaco. That's
literally
what I
take-
remember.
You literally can take Thaco
Lies.
and flip it upside down. You just literally inverse the number, and you have a 5th edition armor class.
Boom.
Done. Like, it's
Too easy.
that easy.
I don't know. I need my save versus paralysis and
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get
I'm
out
just
of here.
saying, like, Oh man, this and you know who you are. You know who you are. I don't know which one is on, but I'm looking at you. Like, okay, I get it. You had all these books and so much sauce, but you know what? Any system where you need to ban books to play the game competently has an issue.
Book of Exalted Deeds.
I'm just saying. Well, hold on. Let me.
Yeah.
Technically, Pathfinder has a greater issue with this problem.
I've got the
Yeah,
Vietnam
no,
stare.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, now I'm playing it. I'm playing Pathfinder, and yeah, I'm doing really random stuff. I'm doing stuff I could not do in 5th edition. I get that. But 5th edition is meant to be the way it is, so it's a bar that anyone can kind of hop into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's like part of its design.
Well, it doesn't take you 4 hours to make a character.
Right, so, understand that the game is streamlined, and you don't have to hold the table up well, in this edition. I mean, you can have that conversation with the other people who feel that way together. You should make a group, a Facebook group called, in this edition. And then everyone can be together. And that way you can get all of that out, because it literally, at my table, it just drives me insane. And in this edition, then man, run that edition. And when the 2 players come up to play it,
Yep.
okay, ran over. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Got to get it out sometimes.
It's healing.
It
What you
is.
don't know
It is part of the healing.
Should be-
What you don't know is
okay.
Coffee and Crits is actually just my therapy.
There it is.
D&D therapy. Okay, but there's
we all
other
need
types of things you shouldn't do. Like, have you ever had a character who just assumed the role and they're the leader? They're the main sauce.
Yes.
They're the most important thing, and everyone has to do what they want to do.
Neil.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he did that as the DM. I mean,
And as a player,
that's
he tried.
what made it the worst.
What?
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
the DM has
intro-
main character syndrome.
introduced a character which was then trying to be leader of the party.
You see, that's the
And-
kind of stuff where horror stories with the DM PC.
Yes.
That's where that comes from.
What?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I've never personally seen the appeal. Because anytime I've tried to introduce NPCs to the party as the DM, it's just more work for me. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You mean like that time that there were 14 NPCs
That was the worst.
that the party, because the party was like collecting them like Pokemon almost.
At that point, you got to start passing them out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what ended up happening. I ended up handing out character sheets of NPCs to the players so that each individual person could run it, and so I didn't have to.
Yeah. I mean, most of my, I guess, NPCs that travel with my parties are ones that they recruit. Like, I don't say, here is this person. I'm with you all. Like, I don't,
Well, I mean, that's, yeah.
we don't put your character build in. Don't do that.
Well, yeah,
Make-
don't interject yourself into the.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've played in games like that. I played in a game like that before, and there was a DMPC who was just like our instructor, and they were just god tier, and it was just ridiculous.
Yep.
Let me solve all your problems for you.
Well, no, what happened is we would hit a wall, and then he would solve the wall. That was fun.
Fun-na-na.
That was sarcasm.
Sarcasm, mama.
Well, really?
Oh, Nick. You've gone so far.
Yep.
You've become the thing that we hate.
Yay.
No, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Everyone is the hero, right? Everyone should share some of the spotlight. I know I definitely try to pass it around. Now there are some people who play who don't want to be, and that's perfectly fine.
It's trying to mesh everybody's personalities. I guess as a DM, finding it difficult at times because everybody comes at the table for different reasons.
Yes.
Sometimes people just want to be there to socialize and they don't want to be the leader of the party. Mm-hmm. And
But then you
obviously
got-
don't want the spotlight. And then there's others who just want to be the leader, and so they try to usurp the.
Yeah.
And they want to be part
Everything.
of every
Scene.
Yes,
scene.
every scene.
And they have to
Yeah.
be the most important person.
Because that's
in
very,
every
going back to
scene.
metagame, problematic. You know,
Yeah.
my character all of a sudden runs to the blacksmith because there's something important going on to the blacksmith, even though I have no idea what's
I would
going
be
on
heading
down
that
there.
way too. So usually when someone does that, I let them arrive after the scene is concluded. I'm not gonna lie, I do that. Well, I'd be heading there too. Okay, I'll let you know when you get there, and then I'll role play the scene out. I'm like, well, no, you were walking this way, so they.
I mean, it takes time for you to walk. You can't just teleport there.
Right. So the conversation finishes, and then you arrive. And you know, it's odd. Like I've had people who, and I've had people where I've made someone like a leader in the group. Like when you're running pirates and someone has to be the captain.
Yes.
Well, that actually just makes story sense.
Right. And then I've had where I've run games like that where they're the leader or the captain, and then another player kind of like wants it. Like he's like, I'm gonna do leader things. And you know, I get it, like they're the captain and I understand like, oh, I don't want to be under this person, but it's kind of like this is kind of the game we're playing, you know?
Yeah,
I've
and it's
seen
usually made known that that's the type of game that's being played.
Yeah.
Like we've had like military games, like Starship Troopers or Aliens.
Oh,
It
the
makes sense
classics.
for somebody to
Yeah,
be a
you gotta
leader.
have a commander.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a chain of command.
Okay, so on that note, I really want to make a game based on the Black Company.
Yes.
I need that in my life.
Yes.
Actually, I'd be surprised if there isn't one already.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to take Friday, and I just want to be the Black. I just want to make a group like the Black Company, and we can just go to different areas. And just you know who you were in the past. You just have a new nickname, and there's a chronicler, and I want all that stuff. Cavell did one similar, and they were called the Chain of Akron.
Chain of Akron.
Yeah, and every member was just a link in the chain.
That's pretty cool.
Right. I really. It's so like, because he was talking about it, and I was listening to it. And he was like, "Yeah, this is loosely based off the Black Company." And then I started reading the Black Company.
They go hard.
They do.
They go the
They
hardest.
do. Right now, I think the chronicler is like this. It's the medic, Doc, and like everyone has nicknames. And Doc tries to figure out who people were in their past, but all of them they have is just like nicknames, and they hide their past. And it's cool. Definitely suggest it if you have a time. So, in the end, right? Like everyone wants to have fun. Everyone wants to come at the table, roll some dice, beat some bad guys, have some sweet RP, and have a good time at the table. Your DM wants you to succeed. Communication, right, is one of the things that helps a long way, right? If you're a DM and you feel like the player's metagaming, just talk, right? You ain't gotta punish them in game.
No.
I would suggest not doing that. Like,
No,
I don't
you'd be better talking to them and letting them leave the table than going
Yeah.
down that route.
Yeah, that's not a good route.
Man, you know another one, though, that irritates me is someone that tells people how to play their characters.
Oh,
Or basically plays a character for them and makes the group decisions without really asking, very controlling.
Yeah. I tend to try to nip that when that's happening in a game I'm running.
Because nobody wants a control freak.
No one wants it. It's not
No,
good.
it's
not good.
it's
But like I
terrible.
said, like we can.
Oh, I was thinking about controllers that actually tell the DM how to run. that's also a thing.
Man, I have never had that at my table. I don't know how I'd even react. I feel like I'd just be flabbergasted.
It was like, I think when it happened at one of my tables, I just kind of stared at the player for a bit, like not knowing exactly what to say.
Like,
Oh, man, I would have run this like that. And it's like,
I guess
Cool.
it wasn't even that. It was, this is what it should do, and this is what's going to happen. I think the bandits are going to take a right, and they're going to set up an ambush down here on the road, and they're going to put this over here. And I'm just sitting here like, are you running?
yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
You really had like the whole encounter planned out, and I was just sitting there listening to him like talk for 30 minutes.
What?
It's a story for another time.
Like the Conan thing.
Yeah.
But that is a story for another time.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So we bought the Keurig to the studio.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't actually have...
Yeah, Trash Studio. We're here, and we brought the Keurig with it with DeVita Studios. We
Yeah.
did that, and so we brought the mountain to Muhammad.
Yes. And it was pretty good.
I'm really happy I got to use that phrase. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't get to use it often.
How long were you waiting to use that phrase?
Since I heard it in NCIS.
Fair enough. Gosh.
Okay, so we had the Dunkin' French Vanilla Blend, and we had the Coffee Mate Creamer. Nick, how do you feel?
I thought I had accidentally dumped too much creamer in it, but it turned out it was perfect. And then I added just the right amount of sugar. And I'm going to have to give mine a solid 15.
Solid 15. Mike.
It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I guess I got so used to the gas station coffee. Now that I'm drinking something besides gas station coffee, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a bias there.
Some copium in there.
But
Stockholm's, go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to rate it an 18.
All right.
This Dunkin' coffee vanilla is incredible.
You know what? I have to concur. It could be our levels of copium. But this was some real good coffee. I'm also going to give it a solid 18. It was like the perfect cast. If we lived into each other's eyes. That's exactly what this was for me. This was great. This was almost this was dang near a crit.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, look, I drank it all. Like that's
It was shades.
That's
of
a
crit.
first right there.
Yeah.
I could have used a whole.
I feel
other
like
cup.
I would have gone a little higher if I had added a little less cream.
I actually want to get another cup. I want to get another cup of this.
Yeah.
We're just gonna just start carrying it and plugging it into the car. Well, anyway,
You
guys,
plug it into the car.
Yes, hit a little car adapter. So, continue to listen, continue to like. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification if you want to see more of us yap about random tabletop stuff. There is also other projects in the works.
Yeah.
We have Legends of Bahari
Yes.
coming
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and that is
Oh,
with
yeah.
Guild, sponsored by Guild Gaming.
Super
and that
fun.
is that's going to be our live stream we do. I'm super excited about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
As we sail the high seas together.
That ought to be fun.
Woo!
Yeah, man. I'm running it. It should be pretty okay.
I mean, you are
The
the okayest.
okayest.
It's going to be the okayest. Yes.
The okayest.
Yes. So, DM World is on Twitter, D1929, Instagram, all that. Facebook.
Social media.
Social media, folks.
Woo!
Oh, also, Strongbeard Gaming.
Yeah, Strongbeard Gaming. Find me on Twitch right now and on Twitter. Twitter's still kind of new, but yeah, you can find me at Strongbeard Gaming at Twitch or however that goes. I
Okay,
can't
you know what? I'm
remember.
just going to drop a few links below.
Let's do that.
Look below.
Look below, and you
Look
can
below.
figure out how to internet better than me.
Yeah.
did it.
We're
Tune in to watch Nick's beer do curls.
Strongbeard. Strongbeard.
As you can tell, we're
beard.
not very good at
There
this.
we go.
All right, guys. You have a good day. And remember, the quest never ends.
Woo!
Woo!
He says clear. All right.